over the weekend.
Remember 10 minutes ago, he had his phone with his app, with his Wall Street app on it. He was laughing that Tesla stock was going down. Yeah. He's such a douche. And by the way, whoever it is, whether it's Tim or anything COVID or Fauci or Biden or whatever, I just want to tell them all, this is not going to turn out good, right? Yeah. Whatever it is you're fucking saying is going to be thrown in your face. You look like an asshole. He's also dumb, I think, is part of it with him. Well, no, he has.
You think Tim is dumb?
Well, here's what I think.
I think he's not as calculating as some politicians.
I don't think he's, Forrest Gump dumb.
Yeah.
But there's a thing that the left has, which is a little bit dopey mixed with a ton of arrogance all the time, And and the news does it too. They go, Elon Musk giving a Hitler salute, and then Mamdani does the Hitler salute. They're too dumb, and they're arrogant. They're super arrogant. So he's arrogant and a little bit dopey, but we'll hear what he has. Is he stepping down?
We got to do the lead up to this, though. So he did step down. And he has this whole long statement. Hold on.
Did he step down or did he not run for a second term?
He dropped out of the governor's race. So he's not, you're right. Thanks for the correction. He is dropping out of running for his second term. He will finish his first term. He said, quote, in a statement, in September, I announced that I would run for a third term in Minnesota's governor. And I have every confidence that if I gave it my all, I would succeed in that effort. But as I reflected on this moment with my family and team over the holidays, here's the important part. I came to the conclusion that I can't give a political campaign my all. He said that every minute he spends defending his own political interests would be a minute I can't spend defending the people of Minnesota, wait for it, against criminals who prey on our generosity and the cynics who prey on our differences.
We hate different. I'm scared of people who look different than me. I don't know if I've told you that.
What a laugh, man. So then he released this statement. Later on the day, he goes to do a press conference, and he literally does not take any questions or address dropping out of the race at all. Here we go.
Here.
I'm proud of the way we treat our neighbors. I'm proud of the way that we welcome people to this state. I'm proud of the way that we innovate, and I'm proud of the way that we are optimists for the future. No one's taking this away from us. Not the fraudsters, certainly not this president, not on my watch.
It's funny.
Tomorrow, I'll be back with you.
Like he goes, not the fraudsters, and certainly not the president.
He's more mad at Trump than he is
He's definitely more mad. Yeah.
From us, not the fraudsters, certainly not this president. Not on my watch. Tomorrow, I'll be back with you. I'll give you an update on America's best paid family medical leave program that is now a week into it. And at that time, I'll take all your questions. Thank you all.
No questions. Yeah, why would you take questions? Why you're having making a statement, you're giving a press conference. Take questions. By the way, it always reminds me of Biden was too tired for the debate. He'd been sitting at Camp David for 2 weeks. What do you mean now? You're standing at a podium, take questions.
Yeah. Also, just hours after you announce that you're not running and saying that you're eluding, even in that very coiffed statement, you're not running because you know that this fraud scandal is going to ruin your campaign and take up all of your time.
He's a douche and he's a dope, and his wife is worse than him, and his daughter seems worse than both of them. So fuck off. Hit the fucking bricks, you idiot.
It's $1 billion right now. And we keep hearing from these whistleblowers that they brought this to the attention of the governor's office forever ago.
Yes.
I don't know. There's some local reporters and activists on the ground that actually think that he made the decision because there might be more coming out.
Oh, yeah. It's just going to get worse for him. And yes, he's doing this. And good riddance. But it's sad. I mean, this guy was almost vice president in the United States, which is crazy.
I'm like, come on, Democrats. Come on.
Come on.
Anytime liberal friends of mine are like, who are you guys going to run in 2028? And I'm like, well, it won't be Tim Walz or Kamala Harris. So
yes. Ugh. All right, good. He's a douche. He's gone.
All right, next up, you already mentioned this guy, Zoran Mamdani, who's super upset about Maduro being kept as a prisoner in New York, by the way.
You know the funny part? I was screaming about this, I think, on the show the other day where I was going, remember when we weren't going to be able to get avocados? Mm-hmm. Or remember we moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem? Yep. The Middle East was going to be on fire. Nothing ever happens.
Nope.
whatever happens, you get Chuck Schumer going, this is the most dangerous, reckless thing. This is going to cause the death of many New York. But it never happens. Like, eventually, you guys are the retards who cried wolf.
Yep.
Like, at a certain point, nobody gives a shit and nothing ever happens.
And people, I think, are kind of waking up a little bit. I think that we forget, even people like me on the right sometimes forget about the broad swath of the middle of the country, that the reason why we tend to have Republicans lose the House or Democrats lose the White House is because there is a shift in the middle of the country and all of those voters that like aren't beholden to one side. And they're like, hey, I'm going to vote for safety in my wallet. Right? And everybody's like, rah, and freaking out about it.
I forgot that Karen Bass, our inept, dumb shit mayor, was this close to being vice president as well, because Biden needed a woman of color. Oh, yeah,
that was his criteria.
It's like, all right, who are the dopiest women of color on the planet? It's Kamala Harris and Karen Bass. I don't think they're not duly upset enough about the whole affirmative action thing that Biden was doing. You took well,
we have a Supreme Court justice to show for it too.
Okay. Well, first off, we have another one, which is Sotomayor. Sotomayor is the dingbat, dumb chump who was arguing for kids to be forcibly vaccinated because she said a whole bunch of kids were hooked up to ventilators. She was lying, and she's a nut job. And an article just came out, basically, study out of wherever, but it said, I don't think any healthy kids died of COVID, which is what I was yelling about the entire time. And so we have Sotomayor, who's a fucking dumb shit, who's trying to get your kid forcibly vaccinated. She's another DEI hire. So I don't think the DEI hiring thing is working out that well.
No, I also think it really undermines, like, maybe the positives of the feminist movement when we're like, hey, hire us because we have hoo-has.
Yes.
Like, that's not beneficial to women. That doesn't help equality. That doesn't help us feel like respected or appreciated in the workplace. If it's like, well, I'm only here because I'm a blonde with,
the movement gets set back because if you said, okay, look, what do we got in the NFL? Back to the NFL. What are our quarterbacks? Well, we got white guys, we got black guys, and we got like Samoan guys or whatever. And I go, no Jews? And you go, no, we don't have that. I think there is one.
Maybe it's college football, though.
Maybe it's college. And I go, well, I need some Jews in there. And you go, well, I mean, there's no Jewish guys not even on they're not even backup quarterbacks. Well, let's get a Jew in there. And then the Jew gets in there and he just throws picks and he fumbles the ball and he gets sacked every time. Well, you would hurt the movement at that point. And then I would go 5 years from now, I'd go, how come no Jewish quarterbacks? And I go, well, remember Lenny? Yeah, that was a disaster. And you actually, Kamala Harris and Karen Bass actually hurt the movement because you go, Los Angeles needs a black female. To what? Burn the city to the fucking ground? Like, if you're a normal person, you now associate a black female with being a shitty mayor.
Yeah, with being a loser.
Right. So
who lets the city burn and...
You hurt the movement. Yes. Sorry.
100%. Another woman that's hurting the movement, a lady named Sia Weaver, who is Mamdani's new director of the city office to quote unquote, this is a job, quote, office to protect tenants. Yeah. She made statements and urged her Twitter followers to elect more communists in several lecturing posts on her now deleted X account.
By the way, all this stuff, all your now deleted, like all your walking back
if you're so
shit.
Proud of it.
I know, that's the whole thing. Like, when Kamala Harris ran for president, she had to walk back every fucking policy she wanted to put in place from 4 years earlier.
Like paying for the transitioning services for prisoners in California.
Oh, yeah. Now, no, I'm not against fracking anymore. Like, okay, why are we walking back your policies, notions, and ideas you had in your 50s?
Yep.
Why are you running away from your own ideas?
This gal is a little younger than that. She said that we need to see the government should seize private property back in June 13th of 2018. And she later doubled down on that in a mini manifesto that she posted in August of 2019. She has videos dating back as late as 2017, but as recently as like 2024. Here's a brief clip of her ranting about some of her communist beliefs.
I think the reality is that for centuries we've really treated property as an individualized good and not a collective good. And we are going to transitioning to treating it as a collective good and towards a model of shared equity will require that we think about it differently. And it will mean that families, especially white families, but some POC families who are homeowners as well, are going to have a different relationship to property than the one that we currently have. I think the reality.
It's all extra talk.
Maybe she should talk to the Black Chamber of Commerce about how they are against estate taxes and fines and death taxes and fines and property taxes and fines, because they know that the family's greatest opportunity out of poverty is having a home that they can pass down for generations.
Also, it's not, hey bitch, it's not your money. It's not your money. They think it's their money. Oof. That's the scary part. And then the other thing is anytime someone wants me to reimagine anything, I'm out. Yeah. I don't want to reimagine Mary Poppins, and I don't want to reimagine home ownership, and I don't want to go, we have to think differently about how we used to think. I don't want to reimagine beauty. I'm not into the fat chicks on the Dove billboard. I'm not into reimagining or rethinking anything. This is how we think.
You're kind of set in your ways.
I'm set in my ways. That's
so
how
it's not a part of your New Year's resolution to try something new or embrace a new thought.
New things are great. You telling me to reimagine beauty is not going to work for me. I have a pretty good idea.
Can't you reimagine home ownership, Adam? Can't you reimagine being more equitable in your property?
They have a serious fundamental problem, which is they are relying on people to not be human beings.
Oh.
And that is a huge fundamental problem.
But part of being human is to be slightly selfish in a lot of ways. And I would say that America has the least selfish people based on charitable donations and everything that we do for our neighbor and for others. Mm-hmm. The result of what happened and how everybody came together post the fires is a perfect example of that. But it's they are so selfish in the way that they live their lives, in addition to how they want everyone to support and applaud the way that they live their lives, all while they're telling you, you need to give up everything that you've worked really hard for yourself and your family.
Yes. They have no idea that we're unable to pull off whatever this is. Mm-hmm. Now, if it would work, then I would applaud it as well. But we live in a society where people pull copper wire out of streetlights. Mm-hmm. So no, we cannot be left alone or unsupervised or left or play nice or share. It's not gonna work that way.
Or even to pretend that everybody has the same thing or equal things to share. You're really talking about taking away from the rich and then the middle class, because that's what happens. When you scare away all the rich people from New York, then you're going to start really negatively affecting the middle class in New York. And go down from there.
All their ideas are bad. It could be about community policing. It could be about borders. It could be stop and frisk, fighting against everything. They fight against what I say is gravity or something. It's basically they're asking for something that's not achievable. Mm-hmm. And they live in some sort of utopian sort of fantasy world where if we took every black citizen and gave them $1 million, then the black community would be uplifted or something. It's no, it would not. It would not work at all. It would, and most of them, half of them would OD within a week. None of your ideas will ever work. Show compassion for the homeless, bring them into our homes, mm-hmm. have judgment-free injection zones where they can inject themselves with clean needles. None of your ideas ever work because they can't, because they're being applied to human beings, and human nature is not that. Mm-hmm. And not only is it not that, it's a lot worse than it was 100 years ago. We may have been able to pull off some of these ideas when people were God-fearing, family-oriented, and believed.
You mean when the family and the church were still involved in everyday life compared to now?
If you took one, let's just put it to you this way. 150 years ago, you go, 6.5 out of every 10 Americans sort of understands the 10 commandments and sort of lives by it. Okay, then you go, all right, then, and that is a world where we can pull off some of this stuff because these people go by the 10 commandments. If you're living in a world now where 0.7 Americans go by the 10 commandments, then no, we cannot do this. It's basically, I say it all the time, but I really mean it. If everyone in your society is following the 10 commandments and you're out of town for Halloween, you can leave a big bucket of candy on the porch and say, limit yourself to one, please.
Yep.
And that'll work.
Not anymore.
Well, would it work? No, it is not going to work. Okay. Well, then we have people that don't follow that. And for those people, they cannot be trusted with daycare money, with clean injection zones, with bring your dog to the airport, and whatever.
That was such a wide range of options there.
It's all human frailty, and it's all on display all the time. And that's why when you go into the CVS, they've locked up the deodorant and
Target too, man.
And the batteries. We have to build cages around things because we have such a problem with dignity and character. And there's no way that we can simultaneously have a society that has battery spray paints and hairspray in cages at every store, barbed wire around the freeway signs, and we're on basically the honor system when it comes to you getting money from the state with your autistic child who's on the spectrum. It will all be exploited. It will never work. So there can be no more trust and no more system. Now, it's sad that we got to this point, but we're here now. And these asshole politicians are the ones who ushered this shit in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you want to hear about somebody else that Mamdani appointed?
They're all the best. Well, they're all women or something of color, and they're all dumb shits.
Dina Levy is a new commissioner of housing preservation and development.
Yeah.
She's currently serving as senior vice president of the single family and community development of New York's Division of Homes and Community Renewal.
By the way, all of this stuff, you guys haven't dealt with it. It's just one more permit, one more place, one more check, one more thing you have to do. How much do these people
get paid?
They get paid a ton, but better yet, you know what I was ruminating on today?
You like that word.
I like to ruminate.
You like to ruminate, but you also like to use the word.
I ruminate. I was ruminating today. I was thinking, I'm looking at you, Dawson. You know, there's this building site that's down the street that I'm obsessing on because of the pilasters and the caissons and the seawalls and the rebar and the concrete and the shotcrete. And they're building a cement bunker up the street on PCH because all the regulations and all the whatever.
Yeah.
And I was down there. And I've been down to that job site. They're tired of seeing me at this job site. I walk around. I take pictures. What are you doing?
You get your cup of coffee and you pretend that you're the foreman?
It's a bunch of Mexicans, and they have no fucking idea what the gringo's doing with his camera once again. But I just take film. But the guy me and Andrew ran into last time we're there were once again a deputy inspector.
Oh.
All right, so here's what I want you guys to dwell on. No longer do you call the inspector to come from the city to come inspect the job site? Now, here's how job sites work. Job sites work this way, traditionally. You go, I got a piece of land, I want to build a house. Then city building and safety goes, submit your plans. That's called plan check. And then they look at your plans, and they look at engineering, and they look at all the stuff that you've submitted. And they flag stuff. They go, they got number 4 rebar here, should be number 5, and there's no Simpson hold downs here, and I'd like to see some of those. And they just, by the way, it keeps going up. More, bigger, stronger, deeper, fatter. More money. And they keep flagging stuff. And then you write them a check, because of course, why shouldn't you pay them to build a house that you're going to, and pay taxes on, and then pay them the taxes on it. And by the way, when you take the house and you do all your home improvements on it, it goes from $1 million to 1.7, it gets reassessed, and then you pay more in taxes.
Yeah.
And you certainly pay more if it's a dirt lawn and a dirt lot, and you build a house there. Now you pay them taxes, but you still have to cut them a check.
Yes. For the permits.
For the privilege of building a house that you're paying for on your own. And then, traditionally, the way it would work is you would form the foundation and you would call for an inspection. And then the guy would come in from his office, not in a real timely way, but you call for an inspection. The guy'd come by, look around, okay, put that piece of rebar up on a riser, and I think, okay, you're good to pour. And then you do the pour for the foundation. And then start framing. Frame. When you're done with the framing, call for another another inspection. So then electrical inspection. Then a plumbing inspection, and blah, blah, blah. And at some point, the guy'd go, you can close up the walls. We're good. But lately, and more recently, and I mean, it's been 15 or 20 years, they've decided, why do we have our guys coming from the office and driving over to your place? Well, I would argue it's your rules, and I cut you a check. That's why. I didn't want to do this.
Yeah.
You want to do it. No. I'll tell you what. Why don't we invent a position called the deputy inspector? Oh, so you have a deputy inspector from it? No, not from our office. This is a separate thing.
Oh,
so you're going to pay? No, we're not paying. You're paying a guy to do the job we don't fucking feel like doing. So you came into our office, showed us plans, cut us a check, and now we don't want to leave our office and come look at your shit, but you can hire somebody at your expense, call the deputy inspector, and then he'll watch your shit, and then he'll bring the shit back to us, and then we won't have to move at all.
Oh my goodness.
So I've been on this job more than once on PCH, and I see the deputy inspector, and these fucking guys they're not getting minimum wage. They're engineers with a history, a background, that all they do is stand there and watch. They want to make sure they can certify whatever this thing is. These guys stand on this job site all fucking day and get paid a king's ransom, and you pay them. So whoever's doing all the caissons and all the seawalls now has to also pay for the deputy inspector. But here's what I was thinking. When it comes to your job site, and these guys are fanatical about inspections, meaning I have done more than one project where an inspector just pulled up on his own accord, got out of his car, walked onto the job site, into my house in one case, and onto another building in another case, and literally went, "What's going on?" And we're like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
I'm a building inspector.
Yeah.
What is going on? Who's in charge here? And you go, "Who's the homeowner?" I go, "I don't know."
Yeah.
You have a permit for this? No. You don't have a permit for what's going on here? Well, I was just fixing the drywall. Shut it down. Shut it down, right? You on that ladder, get down.
This is where my libertarian side starts to come
go
out.
home. Everyone goes home. And when you get your plans together and you get your permit and you get your whatever, you can come back and see me. Until then, there's nothing going on here. Now get out. He's standing in my house telling me shut it down. That's what they do. Deputy inspectors, building inspectors. And by the way, there is no sliding anything past them. There's no, well, we closed up the wall. Well, I didn't inspect the electrical wiring. Well, take my word for it. No, take the drywall back off the wall. Okay.
Oh, my Lord.
All right. But when it comes to Somali daycare centers, when
Nobody
it comes
was dropping
to Somali daycare centers, not nearly as stringent, right?
Nope.
No, that's nothing. Nope. When it comes to you, taxpayer, building your own home at your own expense, they are up your ass 24/7 nonstop. And when it comes to overseeing COVID checks going to prisoners, not so much inspection going on.
No.
Notice that?
No, and in New York, it's just going to get worse. I mean,
Yes.
New York has been so unfriendly to the ability to build, which is why there's insane rents. So this lady who works over there, this is what Mamdani said about her. She's an experienced and fearless housing
everyone's
leader.
Fearless and everyone's a hero.
Like, is everybody, why do you have to be fearless if you're in housing?
Dude, how about you do your fucking job, bitch?
Like, I would say, like, fearless is a description I'd have for, SEAL Team 6.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lady that works at an office in City Hall. Okay. Anyway, and he says that he knows that she will.
It was applied for me.
Right.
And then I was informed that we were eligible for it. I didn't even have to do a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
You can't even
They did their job. I can't even spell. The person applied, got it, and then informed me.
Right.
Because they knew they were doing their job to apply for it.
Right.
And they also knew they weren't going to need to check with me. If we complied, nobody broke any rules.
Right.
If we were eligible for a loan that they were offering because they closed my business, then my tax guy and my money manager it's a dereliction of duty if they don't apply for it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's what I did. But anyway, I hate those kids with their food. And anyway, that was meant for struggling business owners. They never know how it goes.
You go back to accountants like this who are doing their due diligence.
Hold on. I just in case anyone ever tries to shame me, it never works. It never works because I was poor my whole life and I work every fucking weekend.
Right.
So, and I fly Southwest. So please, it'll never work. My reply was, tell me how much you paid in taxes last year, then I will tell you how much I paid last year, and then you can shut the fuck up.
Well, this person in another tweet, first of all, spelled your name wrong, and then made a bunch of false accusations like you were a Nazi and a pedophile and whatever. And the only thing you replied with was, it's Carolla.
C-A-R.
That's how to spell it. I love that.
I love the pedophile.
Right.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know. We can probably find the Nazi pedophile one too. I do not want to give my detractors any tips, but overusing the word Nazi is not helping you.
Sure.
Remember 10 minutes ago when you retards fucked out racist, and now no one cares?
Yeah.
Now you're going to fuck out Nazi and pedophile. Yes.
There it is. This is Adam Carolla attacking people who can't afford to eat. He's a pedophile supporter with no talent. And you're like, it's spelled Carolla, not Carolla.
That's
right.
That's
good. Well, speaking of the people doing everything they can because accountants do it within the law. Your accountants did the right thing within the law. These people in the California government, this Dana Williamson, believed she would never get caught.
Yes.
And had Trump not won this election, she might not have ever gotten caught. But she's facing 23 charges, including conspiracy to commit bank and wire fraud.
Yeah, listen, I want to say to people all the time about all this stuff, what's Trump doing? Hey, well, this is retribution. Yeah, retribution for what? This is payback. Payback for what? This is revenge. Revenge for what?
Yeah.
Well, you trying to put him in jail for 4 years. That's what he's doing.
Exactly.
Now, here's the good news. If he didn't do anything, then fine. This person's trying to bust me on a PPE loan.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything, though. It's all above board.
Right.
So knock yourself out and go talk to my accountant.
Right.
So you go, well, what if Gavin Newsom comes after me for a PPE loan? Then I go, well, I didn't do anything. It's all according to the law.
Exactly.
So then I'm fine. And they go, are you okay with Gavin Newsom? Yeah, I'm okay with it. If I didn't do anything, then no, I'm not going to jail. And neither's anybody.
Right.
This thing where it's like, oh, he's declared war. If there's nothing there, there's nothing there.
And what happened to nobody is above the law? I can't wait to watch Swalwell go down. That's going to make me so happy.
I'm just saying, you didn't falsify some loan or say you lived in a residence you didn't live in or whatever. You didn't do any of that, then by all means. These are the same assholes. They did the same shit with stop and frisk. Like, you think it's okay to stop 17-year-old black men walking down the streets of Manhattan? Well, if you don't have a gun, then you don't have a gun.
Right.
If I'm walking down the fucking street of Old Town Pasadena and I pass a couple of cops and the cop goes, "Are you packing a pistol?" I would go, "No." And then they'd go, "Can you pull up your sweatshirt?" I'd go, "There you go." And they go, "All right, have a good day." That's fine. I don't have a gun. I didn't do anything. I'm not going to jail. There's nothing. And am I offended? Not really. I kind of like them out there doing that.
Sure.
I'm fine with that. So whoever, if you didn't do anything, then good luck to Trump. But if you did something and you tried to put him in jail, well, now there's something. And then you go, well, yeah, but are you Al Capone? I mean, you did a little something, but you do the same thing everyone else does. You know, you go, how many dependents do you have on your taxes? And you go, well, it's just me and my dog. 3. So is that legal? Well, not technically. Does everyone do it? Yeah. Okay. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is you tried to bust your opponent on claiming too many dependents.
The problem.
And now he's in charge. And guess what? He wants to know how many dependents you claimed.
Yep.
And then you go, what's the big deal? Everyone collect. Yeah, that's true. But you tried to put him in jail for that. So now he is allowed to do the exact same thing to you, which you should have thought about before you tried to put him in jail. But I get your plan. Put him in jail, and then we'll never have to deal with this ever again.
Right. But
it's like, here's what I say to people all the time. Yeah, here's the deal. You are allowed to jump over your neighbor's fence and steal their hibachi. And 9 times out of 10, at noon on a Tuesday,
you get away.
And you don't see their car in the driveway. Yeah. You're going to get away with that guy's hibachi, and you can enjoy your teriyaki burger, and he'll be none the wiser. But once in a while, his car's at the shop, and he's home cleaning a shotgun. And shit happens. Now, did you deserve to get shot for stealing the hibachi? No, you did not.
Of course not.
But you jumped over the fence. And once you went over the fence, the second you landed in his yard, you rolled the dice.
Unless you're in California.
That's right. All right. What else you got?
President Trump said he's going to sue the BBC for billions of dollars after the British public broadcaster published a misleading edit of one of his speeches. I did not know. I've heard the edit. We're going to listen to the edit, but I did not know it was this bad. Did you know that inside this edit is a 50-minute period?
50-something minute.
Yes. So he's been talking for almost an hour, and they made it seem like this all happened at once.
So you start talking at noon, you say something at 12:03, and at some point they edit it into something you said at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And they presented it as real, and Trump, he said, let's listen to this really quick.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Yeah. There we go.
And we're going to fast forward 54 minutes.
And we fight.
See, 54.
We fight like hell.
Yeah.
And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Can I say this? Let me just say this to everybody. First off, I love the fact that they cook videos to only be negative against Trump all the time, but they're not biased. They're not biased.
No.
It's just that's the way it always turns out. You're an umpire who calls balls and strikes until your son is pitching, and then ones in the dirt are called strikes. But you're not biased. You're a good umpire. You just got a few bad calls in there. But you never call a strike a ball when your son is pitching. It's only one direction all the time. All right, everyone understand this. January 6th. January 6th was called the greatest attack on our nation's soil since 9/11, worst thing since Pearl Harbor, and so on and so forth. Democracy hanging by a thread, this close to losing democracy. Okay, the hyperbole, let's not call it hyperbole. Let's just call it the description around January 6th as our democracy was hanging in the balance in the midst of a full-blown insurrection, a full-blown insurrection, and our democracy was hanging by. Like if let's just say I took a founding father and I reanimated him, and I said to George Washington, I go, look, we're going to have a situation in the future where there's an insurrection. And he's like, an insurrection? I'm like, oh, yeah, an armed insurrection. He's like, an armed insurrection where they attacked the Capitol and our democracy was hanging by a thread, and we came this close to losing our democracy. And it was worse since our entire naval fleet was almost taken out in Pearl Harbor. That's something that's going to happen in the future, but just take my word for it. Or the Twin Towers were taken down when commercial airliners, or as you call them, metal birds, were flown into them. And it's all that. Right. Okay. That's how bad it was. Okay. When something is actually like Pearl Harbor, they got a body count with Pearl Harbor. They got how many ships were destroyed, and they got a body count.
They got memorials.
They have memorials. They have a body count for 9/11. When something is actually what it is, you don't need to cook it and pat it all the time. You don't need to do it. It is what it is. The buildings are gone. The towers are gone. The 3,000 Americans are gone. That's what it is. Pictures of people jumping from burning buildings and hitting the ground. Right. That's what it is. Films of commercial airliners hitting the building. You don't need to pad it. You don't need to doctor it. You don't need to cook or edit video.
You don't need to delete 70% of it.
You don't need to delete whatever files you guys created from your January 6th committee. You don't need to lie about. You don't take people who worked at the Capitol 6 months later, committed suicide because their girlfriend left them, and count that as a death from that event. You have plenty of bodies. Let me ask you this. January 6th, they have no bodies. Well, they have Ashley Babbitt, who was shot in the face by one of the police officers, but they don't like that story, so they avoid that story very clearly. But 9/11, I don't know, 2,872 or some number, about 3,000 people died, right? Do they pad that number months on because of a widow who committed suicide because she lost her husband? Right. Are we padding that number too? We're going to keep padding? So on Pearl Harbor, there's some 20-year-old who was on one of those ships who perished, and then somewhere in Pasadena, California, was a 20-year-old woman, and they just got engaged. And at some point, she was distraught and threw herself off the Hollywood sign and killed herself. Are we counting that as a Pearl Harbor death? And if not, why not? According to your fucking logic. But you guys are lying and cooking, and that's how I know it's bullshit. Because when it really happened, you don't need to lie, you don't need to edit, and you don't need to cook. Right. And that's all you guys do.
You don't need a Hollywood TV presentation to convince the country of something. You just have the facts.
You got AOC saying that she thought she was going to be raped and killed.
She wasn't there.
And not in the building.
Right.
Why do you need her saying she was in the building when she wasn't in the building if you're not cooking all of this? So spare me if I'm a little dubious. Who wouldn't be dubious? You guys are cooking everything. You're doing the same thing you did with COVID deaths. Guy fucking dies on a moped and you call it a COVID death.
Right.
So
they had people dying of gunshot wounds they called COVID.
Pardon me for being a little dubious because you guys are cooking numbers and information.
But what does it say about the rest of the people who just believe this stuff? Are they simply incurious, or are they gullible enough to believe everything the government says? That, I think, is the biggest problem, is the people who just absorb everything you tell me, even though it's conflicting and disproving of something you told me 5 years ago.
I
just accept it.
You know how many people in my life who've recounted something to me where they go, look, here's what happened. And I go, that's not what happened.
Right.
I'll tell you what happened. I was there, and here's how it played out, because I was there, and I know exactly what happened. Somewhere the over-under is about 7 weeks where they come back to me and go, let's not have this happen again. And I go, I told you that didn't happen, and here's what happened. Right. And I now realize that people have an infinite capacity to lie to themselves. And also, there's a kind of it's a narcissistic thing. It's funny. Dr. Drew sent me something today, which is interesting. It's a fun experiment. I'll put it on Andrew for a second. But Andrew, there was a narcissist. It was a guy doing a sketch basically about, are you a narcissist? You know, it's a funny thing. Show up to the narcissist. You know, AA for a narcissist or something. You know, that kind of thing. Okay. Anyway, it's a real simple thing. When you say things that are sort of normal things and then sort of apply it to other people, if you laugh, then that means there's something wrong with the other person or your relationship. Now, I'll explain that.
Okay.
I have laughed. Now, if I said to you, Dawson, 10 years ago, if you said, what'd you do this weekend, Adam? And I'd say, yeah, my dad came by and we put a deck on the house. You'd start laughing because you know Jim Carolla would never fucking come over and put a deck on your house, right? Right. But there are other dudes you know who, if you said that about me, well, what'd you do this weekend, so-and-so? Adam came by and we put a deck on the house. Then you'd go, cool.
Yeah.
Because I might do that, right?
Right.
And if I said to you, you know, if you said to me, what'd you do this weekend? And I'd go, well, you know, I had the Celebrity Grand Prix race, and my mom was there, and she took out a hotel room in Long Beach, invited all her friends over.
Right.
They got one of those
Did she
condos.
bring Zoran?
Zorback. She got her and Zorback. They rented one of those condos out on the back straight.
Did she wear her dress, Moo?
She hung a big sheet out on the balcony where they can see on the back straight over there with my car number on it, nice. Rainbow tape, right? Yep. You would start laughing, right? Because that would never happen.
I am laughing.
Now, you're laughing. Okay, now what does that mean? Well, there's some people would do that. You know what I mean? And if you said, like you took, all right. So, and it also means they probably should have done that shit at some point because it's normal shit.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, here's the thing. I've said this to Drew many times. Regarding narcissists, is this the Michelle Obama curly hair tweet? I'm going to say no, because I will bring that up. This is a bit that a guy did about narcissism that's a comedy bit. But
I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me to find something on your Twitter. I was looking on it.
No, Drew sent it to me, but it's out there somewhere. I get a lot of this in my life, but anyway.
I think I saw it.
Drew sent it to me. Okay, here's my whole point.
I just glanced.
Here's my whole point. Are you ready?
Yes.
In this thing, and everyone think of the people they know, you know. Think about this very simple sort of thought experiment. Think of the person, like you think about Mike August, right? Mm-hmm. And you go, Mike, I think you're confused and you messed up this booking date. And he said, you're right, I was, sorry, won't happen again.
Yeah, right.
Right, okay, so you can't picture that coming from his mouth.
No.
Right. So if you can't picture, and by the way, I can do it with my ex-wife, you can do it with business partners, you do it with a friend, where you go, hey, you screwed this up, and they go, you know what? I did, and I'm sorry, and it's not going to happen again. If you can't picture that ever coming from their mouth ever, well, then you're dealing with a fucking idiot and a narcissist. You're dealing with that thing.
Huh.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
What I'm saying is if I said, I told Dr. Drew he was mistaken and he got the time wrong for when we're going to meet to dinner, and he said, sorry, you're right, I got confused, won't happen again, that's perfectly fine. If I said that coming from Mike August's mouth, you'd start laughing. Because Mike would say, I sent you an email changing the time and you never got it. Or whatever that thing is.
Okay.
So the experiment with like the people in your life, picture them saying things like, sorry, not going to happen again. Like, okay, remember I used to work here, Donnie. Mm-hmm. Picture me going, Donnie, you screwed up the scheduling. Picture him going, sorry, boss, not going to happen again. I'll make sure of it.
Yeah, no.
Never say. He'd go, you screwed things up too.
Right.
Last Tuesday, you said, right?
Right.
Right. We all have those people, but then there's other people. So just picture the people in your life saying things like that. Like even my dad. My dad wouldn't go like, sorry, screwed up, not going to happen again. He'd go, no, you said earlier, yeah, that was on you. You know what I mean? Like it's always either I didn't do it or what about you, right? Dawson screwed something up an hour ago. I said, did you get the news? He goes, they didn't get news. I said, oh, I thought you got the news. And he goes, I got the news. Sorry, my bad. All right. If you can't do that simple thing. Now, everybody, by the way, who doesn't do it, they go, you never do it.
Right.
They always accuse you of never doing it.
Now, is this
and
just
I
a
don't
sign?
do it. I don't do it that much.
It's just a sign
but I don't do it that much because I don't fuck up that much.
Right. But is this just a sign of possible narcissism? Like, we're not saying that Mike August is a narcissist. Although, Mike August, I've had these conversations.
No, he's not. But you just have to think about people and you go, could you picture? Like, you would start laughing if you heard Mike, if you heard in your head Mike said, that's 100% on me. I'll learn from this. It's not going to happen again.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So the internet, Andrew, how does the internet work in that we can't find things? But I'm always curious. I'm not blaming you, but it has nothing to do, obviously, with...
What is the thing in question here?
What are you putting in there?
I'm looking at your tweets. I'm looking at your messages.
But we said no to that.
But
so Drew sent me something.
Yeah, where did he send it to you?
He sent me a text or something.
Okay, I can't. I don't have access to your phone.
but the internet may have something. This may be on the internet.
I believe I saw something with
saying?
Dr. Drew and narcissism on X.
On X, on Dr. Drew's page.
Yeah, try there. I believe.
Well, but if you just type in narcissist test sketch, nothing.
Let me check. Hold on a second.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just check.
That's
the internet.
I'm in the process of doing
All right,
that
do
right
that
now.
thing on the internet.
So anyway, Trump said he's going to sue the BBC for anywhere between $1 billion and $5 billion. I love him.
Let me say this. I've said it a million times.
Probably sometime this week.
I don't know why we stopped the clock as long as we're talking to Andrew, but we did. Or it stopped on its own. I don't know how that works. But all right. And now it's running, but it's 22 minutes behind or something. All right. So here's the thing. I hate people that sue people, and I hate living in a litigious society.
Sure.
On the other hand, if it will stop if it will dissuade news outlets from lying all the time,
of course,
then I'm all for it.
Well, it's the patent trolls lawsuit that or maybe you were sued and defended, but essentially you attacked them so that they would stop doing this to everyone else.
Yes, and Mark Maron never stops thanking me.
I know. I heard him just the other day. He mentioned it to Obama.
All the folks that have podcasts never stop thanking me for doing the battle so that they could freely podcast on their show. All right, here it is. And you only need to really listen to the first 45 seconds of it where he basically does what I've complained about. Like I said, like I said, could be my ex-wife, could be a kid, could be a dad, could be a business guy. Just picture them saying things like, hey, last time we went to lunch, you paid. I'm going to pick this one up. If the answer is that person would never do that, then you have to sort of think about who that person is. And if you cannot picture the words, the sound of that person going, you're right, my bad, that's on me. And you know what? I'm embarrassed. And it's never going to happen again. If you can't. Now, when my kids were 15, I could picture my son saying that. But I couldn't picture my daughter saying it. Because she wouldn't say it. And many other people wouldn't say it. I could picture Dr. Drew saying it. I could not picture Donnie saying it. Because Donnie wouldn't say it. Right. Dr. Drew would.
Right.
And then people want to know what's wrong with everybody. All right, we'll play just the first. I'll say in advance, we should turn the sound on. I don't know why you're
All right,
laughing.
welcome to Narcissist Rehab, where this will most likely be a colossal waste of my time. I don't know why I'm here because I've never done anything wrong. Yeah, you're in the right place. Let's start off with something simple. Repeat after me. I'm sorry, that was wrong. I'm sorry that you made me do that. Close, but the opposite of what I just said. I'm sorry you can't take a joke. Even worse, just repeat after me. I care about how my words and actions impacted you. Why are you complaining when I'm clearly the victim here? Nope, that's not it. Your feelings aren't my problem. Once again, let's just stick to the script.
Go to the top one more time. It's literally what I've been yelling about. Like, I cannot physically say it.
All right, welcome to Narcissist Rehab, where this will most likely be a colossal waste of my time. I don't know why I'm here because I've never done anything wrong. Yeah, you're in the right place. Let's start off with something simple. Repeat after me. I'm sorry, that was wrong. I'm sorry that you made me do that. Close, but the opposite of what I just said. I'm sorry you can't take a joke. Even worse.
All right, sorry. The you made me do that part, I know it's all a joke, but most of the time I say to someone you did something wrong, they go, you
said it.
You... whatever it is.
That's what you told me. You told me to do that.
There's a you told me, you said it, and there's a version where you sort of made me do it through your whatever.
Right.
Yeah. It's a problem, people. Character. Pass it on. All right. What else do we got?
Fred Goldman, maybe he's a little closer to maybe finally receiving some payment money from O.J. Simpson's estate nearly 3 decades after winning the wrongful death judgment against O.J.
Mm-hmm.
The executor of the Simpson estate has accepted Goldman's creditor claim of $57,997,000 and change.
That is a lot of mustache wax.
Yeah. Can you imagine? That's Diddy. That's Diddy level.
I would be the worst
wax.
mustache wax guy.
Wow.
You know how fucking lazy I am? I would, like, for me, putting on jeans or shoes I have to tie are like, ugh, such a waste of time. I'd be the worst transvestite, and I'd be the worst mustache wax guy. Because the mustache, I'd always be like, fuck, I don't got time to wax. It'd just be hanging off the side of my face. Or I'd be like, I got time to wax one side, but not the other. So one would be limp and hanging in my salad, and the other would be all curled up, looking like Snidely Whiplash.
You'd have to incorporate it into your alarm setting routine. Shit, I got to get up 15 minutes early for the mustache.
I got to set. I got to back.
Yeah.
I have to reverse engineer the alarm clock because I need mustache wax time. How old is Goldman now?
God, he's got to be almost 80, right? It was 3 decades ago.
It was 30.
He was 50 at least.
It was 30 years ago. And the scary part is...
He could have been in his 40s.
Yes, he could have been in his 40s. He's a strange guy. But, wait a minute. Let's see where he is. How old is he? And by the way,
84.
84. Is that money... by the way, sorry. But between... the long hair that's sort of flipped back and the smoked shades and the mustache wax, he had a little mafiosa fucking somewhere between an enforcer and a kingpin. You know what I mean? Like he had a vibe.
It does kind of look like his last name ends in a vowel.
Yeah, he had a kind of look with between the mustache, the hairstyle, and the smoked shades. The indoor prescription glasses, a little bit smoky at the top. He had that look like he was doing something.
Yeah, his name would be Fredo Goldmano.
So he's 84. Is there money in the estate? Though
that's the big question here.
That's the question. Like everyone's like, he got awarded 57. Yeah, 50. You could go fucking look. You could pick up a day laborer over at Home Depot, bring him over to your house. He could kill your wife when he was drunk, and you could sue him for $60 million. But guess what? There's no money.
Right.
So is there money?
So, they're still auctioning stuff off, trying to get there. This. I guess the point here is the original $33 million. Goldman argued that it was the value was exceeding $117 million today. They agreed on the $59 million thing, but the executor of the estate said they intend to pay as much of the approved amount as possible through ongoing auctions of Simpson's possessions.
Well, here's what Google says. O.J. Simpson was not broke when he died, as he had an estimated net worth of $3 million. Now, first off, this estimated net worth stuff is insane on the internet, so you never know what you're dealing with. But was deeply in debt to the families of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, while his estate would be responsible for the more than $100 million, blah, 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 blah. It gets an NFL pension, right? There's like SAG stuff. I mean, there's stuff you could get. There is memorabilia. But you're not getting a lump of cash from OJ.
No.
That's for damn sure. All right. No. Thank you.
So Ford Motor Company has been unable to fill about 5,000 openings for mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
And starting salary they're offering is $120,000 a year.
Jesus
Problem
Christ.
is everyone's getting bad degrees and wasting their time in college instead of going to a trade school. But the Ford CEO, Jim Farley, is saying that we are in trouble. We're not talking about this enough. We have over 1 million openings in critical jobs, emergency services, trucking, factory workers, plumbers, electricians, and tradesmen. We don't have the trade schools, and we don't have the people filling these jobs.
What? Jesus Christ. Literally, I can remember where I was sitting in 1996, 1997, when I was doing Loveline. And lest you think this wave of stupidity that has washed over the nation is new, it goes back. You can get rid of the clock, by the way, if it's going to be 18 minutes or 22 minutes or whatever off. It actually does more harm than good at a certain point. Yeah. But
I have no idea why it stopped.
It's just bad computer stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing. I was sitting there in my Loveline studio, literally 1996, 1997, whenever all this bullshit Save the Music. Hi, I'm Sheryl Crow. Schools need, and I said, schools need shop class.
Yes.
Schools need shop class. We don't need a fucking oboe.
Yes.
We don't need the oboe. And the same old jack-offs who were playing hero had to do. A lot of schools don't have access to oboes. And I'm Sheryl, I'm Sheryl Crow, and I'm a hero. And I'm going to fight for bullshit that it's not necessary in the real world. Ford doesn't need 5,000 celloists, you fucking idiots.
That's right.
They need people who work.
Right.
Who have a fucking skill that you never taught them because you decided that music was the number one thing missing from the inner city kids. See, more fucking do-gooders fucking up people. By the way, same people, 20 years later, 25 years later, COVID comes down the pike, shut the schools.
Mm-hmm.
You fucking hero retards. Mm-hmm. You people. You're doing damage, is what I'm saying. You're not only not heroes, you're fucking kids up. They need shop class, not woodwinds.
Right.
By the way, once we're done with all the shop class, if there's a little money left over and they can sit there and play the oboe, then so be it.
Mm-hmm.
But first there's shop, then there's band. You guys did this whole Save the Music. Find me one of those shitty Save the Music commercials from like the late 90s with
those.
the fucking hero musicians
also,
out there.
See, at that time, we were fully, my family was way in on this too. My parents told me I wasn't allowed to go to state school. I had to go to the University of California because that's where the smarter kids went.
Yeah, listen.
And I looked down. I had one of my friend's older brothers after high school. He did not go to college. He went to mechanic school. And immediately the guy's making money. He's got a house with a pool. He's 21 years old.
Right.
And I always looked down on that guy. I looked at him like he was stupid.
Yeah, I'm not saying that good people weren't drawn in to this stuff. There's good people that got drawn into the food pyramid. There's good people that got drawn into COVID. There's like good people that got drawn into a lot of shit because
at one point though, it becomes not so much this is the way to go. It becomes don't do it this other way. Screw trade school. You need to go to college. Those trade school people are idiots.
And
at one point, it really became that.
I've said it a million times. There can't be. Everyone wants to live in a world where it's like, what do? Well, we uplift people of color. We take people of color and we fight for them. Systemic racism. And what's wrong with helping people of color? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with it. Nothing. But at a certain point, you got to figure out what Whitey's up to and fuck them up. That's the problem. Look, everyone should go to college, right? At some point, you start attacking blue-collar people.
Right.
Because you can't just do it. I've said it a million times. You can be a Baltimore Ravens fan for so long, but eventually you're a Baltimore Ravens fan and you hate the Steelers.
Right.
And you want to punch the guy in the Steelers jersey. It's not just I love the Ravens.
Right.
It's I'm going to punch the guy in the Steelers jersey.
Right.
It's not just let's uplift women of color. It's go find white dudes and go after their shit.
Well,
it has to be that way, everyone.
Do you remember about 5 years ago when in order to help people of color, the UC system stopped requiring SATs. Right. And now more than half of the students at UC San Diego don't know fifth grade math.
Right. So my point is yes, let's get more Hispanics into UCLA. Noble. At a certain point, you got to start cutting some eligible Asians because they're taking up too much room. Yeah. So, see, it's not just let's help this group. At some point, let's fuck up the other group.
Exactly, and that's what it became.
That's what it became. Yes. Thank God my
Save
family.
The music. Save
Here
the music.
Here we go. It's a clip of, I don't know.
Want to help kids learn?
You got it.
We kept it. Well, somebody filmed it off their TV set
really?
and sent it to me because I found it and started screaming about it, and the NFL Network took it down.
Okay.
Because it's the greatest.
I remember this, yeah.
It's the greatest line of all time. Here it is.
The head slap was to do two purposes. One was to give myself an initial head start on the pass rush. In other words, an extra step. Because anytime you go upside a man's head or a woman, then they have a tendency to blink their eyes or close their eyes, and that was all I needed.
The added woman. I remember that's the best. It's the best clip of all time. The reason it's the best of all time
is he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. But if I said, like, Deacon, what is your technique for making it through airport security? And he said, the head slap, because anytime you go upside a man or a woman's head, you go, okay, I've been through TSA. I've seen a few ladies working there.
Sure.
But I've never seen a woman in the NFL.
No.
And that's the part that makes it great, because he's only being asked about his on-the-field experience. And he went domestic. He left the field and entered his home.
I feel like he was also trying to be PC there.
Yeah,
he was. He's like, when you knock a man to the ground or a woman, I don't want to be.
No, I've told people a million times, if you go through the 70s, if you lived like I did, especially with my hippie mom, there was a very small window from like I don't know, blame Helen Reddy for I Am Woman, but there was like a 1972 women's lib, Billie Jean King, Bobby Riggs, we went all nuts in on women for like 2 years. Yeah. And you could not, if you said, listen, I think an astronaut, he should represent the best of this country. He or she, some dumb bitch. My mom was on welfare and food stamps, so you're not going to the moon unless Ralph Cramden sends you there. But she was like, he or she. If you said the president, I want him to be dignified. I want him to be he or she. That got whacked into us.
You're saying this came in the window.
I'm saying maybe Deacon got enough of he or she that he just added it.
Right.
It's
sort of a natural.
But it's still fun.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
Or he really meant it.
It's one or
the other. I mean, it was either a flub or he was dead serious.
He was looking at his wife right in that moment.
Yeah, in that moment, like, or she.
Go inside her head.
You're going to talk.
Or her head.
Trying to do an interview right now. Wait in the car.
I said a million times too. It's the easiest edit in the world.
Yeah.
Because it's like anytime we go upside a man's head, cut to game footage. Yeah. Cut to him. He paused and then said she. That was edited. That's an edited. Yeah. That's a piece that is edited because they roll in game footage. So you go, who's in that bay? Joey Buttafuoco? Did Joey Buttafuoco edit this? Like, who's in the bay?
He just doesn't hear it at all.
You just go, anytime we go upside a man's head, cut. Game footage. Now back to Deacon. After he said the woman thing. We don't leave that in there. They could have done it.
Or it was just a guy with great comedic timing.
Yes.
It's like, you know what, this stays.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no way I need this to air to the world.
Stand-up comedy at night. He's editing ESPN in the day.
He hates his life. He's about to leave. Yeah. He's like, it's a woman.
All right, so the whitest song. I'm going to let you guys think about your entry.
Gosh, you named a few right there,
I'm going to play Dan Hill, Sometimes When We Touch, and we could put the lyrics on the screen if we could, because it is, I was listening to this. Okay, that's a white thought. Right? I'm trying to hurt you, honestly. But if you're trying to get a blowjob, you're going to say anything, right?
Right.
For sure.
Right, but
sing anything, I think.
But there's a line coming up that I've heard this song 10,000 times. I never really heard it, but we'll keep playing.
If you get a blowjob,
you know the other guys are like session musicians, and they played with like Cream and Jimi Hendrix and shit. Like they did all the great albums, and the poor fucking bass player's like, I don't know, some pussy rock.
He's like, why are we using this bass?
I'm currently lactating.
Yeah.
It seems like a commercial for like kids' milk.
Dawn soap.
There's a great line coming up here. So the whiter trapped within his truth.
Oh, it gets worse.
That's the whitest thing I've ever heard in my life. There's no whiter lyrics of I'm just another writer still trapped within my truth.
Why didn't his manager say, let's just have a black guy look at it?
Yeah, let's give it
a once over. Red line.
Let Nipsey give it a once over and just punch it up or underline a few words.
Yeah, like Smokey Robinson was at Motown just to add a few notes. Why did you have that guy around?
That's right. Yeah.
Just see what there might be.
Let me run it up to Quincy's flagpole, see if he salutes.
Yeah, see what he says.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like, so this guy's gay and this song's for a man.
He's just another writer still trapped within my truth.
A hesitant prize fighter.
As a prize fighter, I object to this entire segment.
I also start thinking about this whole My Truth business. I thought this shit was 15 minutes old. I didn't know it went back to 81.
Buddy.
I'm just finding out now, and it's hurting.
It hurts.
The deep state's everywhere.
All right.
My Truth.
It's his truth. All right. Do you think you can get best dance song? You can do saddest song, best love song. You can do a lot, but I've created a new category. It's whitest song, and I want people's input. I have a song that
he got her to her knees though, then immediately tells her to stand up.
Yeah, hug her.
Almost there.
Start crying again. This guy just holds her and cries.
Yeah, he's like, no, not down there.
He's edging.
In my arms.
This is what you call a palate cleanser from Deacon Jones. Like this is in terms of Wade Dawson. Find the Sonny and Cher There's a Sonny and Cher version of this, which is even wider.
Cher popped in my head as a couple of
no. You know what it is? Could be wider. I just want to be friends with you.
See?
Babe, I just want to be friends. That's all. No black man's ever sung about hanging out and getting to know you and being friends with you. There's a Sonny and Cher, baby, friends with you. Let's see.
No, Bobby Womack sang about pimps on
All I really want to do. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But best they'll ever do, once in a while you catch your brother in his refractory period, and he's just like, sitting on the dock of the bay, hoping my boner goes away. That's his downtime, you know what I mean? But then he's right back to fucking and pimp-handing.
I be stroking. That's what I be doing.
He was blind, and all he could sing about was that.
All right, do we have Sonny and Cher? This could be the one.
All I Ever Need Is You.
Sometimes when I'm down.
No, you had All I Really Want to Do. I don't know why. There's All I Really Want to Do, which is weird. We'll find it.
I think these are the musical equivalents of lying in wait. You know, you're like pretending, just be your friend. It's for like beta dudes.
This is the song. These are the lyrics.
Yeah, it's just Cher, though. I'm sorry.
Writing his songs with you.
Buried next to you.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. You know, I'll tell you why I don't like Sonny. Everyone likes him. I'll tell you why I don't like him. I have a weird thing with anyone who reinvents themselves. I don't like the reinventors. There's guys you went to high school with that were nerds, and now you see them out. They got the sleeve tattoos and the earring and the attitude, and you're like, fuck that guy. I knew who he was when I was 14, right?
You're a narc.
If you find a picture of Sonny Bono from like 1967 in a fur vest and his moccasins, he was beatnik hippie all the way.
Yeah.
All the way beatnik hippie. And then you find a picture of him from 1997 as a Republican district selectman in Palm Springs, all of a sudden suit, American flag on lapel. He went from beatnik hippie to Ronald Reagan, like that. Yeah. So what is Sonny Bono doing? Is he this or is he that? He's fucking getting paid. Is what he's doing. Yes. And in 1967, it was cool to be a beatnik. He was never any of this shit. He was just a fucking life clown who just dresses in whatever the outfit is where he can get paid for that day. Now,
the leisure suit,
you don't show up. You don't show up in Palm Springs running on the Republican ticket dressed like a beatnik. No. They don't want that. So you change your look. You're a chameleon who's whatever it is, whatever you need, that's what you do.
And you have to lack so much truth and confidence in yourself that you can just switch immediately. Because you don't transition.
Well, but here's a weird thing. You don't actually offer anything.
Right.
You don't play an instrument. You don't sing. You don't do anything. So, but you want to be rich.
Right.
So what do we do here, people? Play the role of this. He's going to be missed, but
he's not though.
Oh no, he's not right.
It's a long time ago he died.
All right, let's see. Let's find. We have the. I think we have a side by side. Oh, it's incoming. Sorry. All right, we'll find it. Mayhem, you got some news or something?
I got some news. Here's a weird one. Border Patrol agent pleads guilty to telling women to show their breasts.
All right, hold on. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Is that a bolo tie or just a silly one?
We might need a little more outfit on
so
these
he's got
guys.
the Jeff Daniels and Dumb and Dumber hair.
Yeah.
Right. Right. There's one where he's wearing a fur vest, which is excellent.
That song Half Breed, though, that she sings is also extremely white, because when anybody sings about somebody else's cause, and the video is also her on a horse, oh my God, he has a badge.
He does have a badge.
A sewn-in badge to a caveman vest.
All right, so which one is he? The answer is, who's paying me? That's the answer. Yeah, and in the mid-70s, there'll be leisure suits and platform shoes. All right, anyway, it's going to be missed. What do you got, Mayhem?
Oh, yeah. A Border Patrol agent pleads guilty to telling women to show their breasts to enter the U.S. Former Border Patrol agent Shane Millen, 53, has pleaded guilty in federal court to forcing multiple women to expose their breasts in exchange for admission to the country. According to court records, Millen Millen carried out these acts for virtual immigration interviews.
Hey, you know what I got to say, though? We don't know if we had some under-titty fentanyl going on.
Yeah.
Or these guys were packing heat. Like, look, you go to prison, you get strip searched.
You do.
Is that a sexual thing? Come on, man.
Maybe to me.
Tell us.
It could be if you look them right in the eyes.
I'm just saying, you know.
Well, during the Zoom interview,
saying how you want to be friends.
Yeah, the way they figured him out was they got his computer, obviously, and he was Googling Spanish phrases such as, I will also need you to lift your bra, please. To verify, I will need you to lift your shirt, please. And can you lift it higher, please? Your file says you have tattoos across your chest.
Oh,
so he
was working an angle.
Duolingo.
Yeah. And he learned 3 sentences in Spanish.
That's
exactly for moving your shirt.
Yeah, misconduct dates back to August 2023. Prosecutors stating that Millen first coerced women to exposing herself on August 10th, and he's just been doing it nonstop ever since.
All right, I'm bored. What's the next story?
Yes, I know.
I keep that guy on, though.
Whoopi Goldberg
this is what I want.
Under fire for defending transgender women athletes, or athletes in women's sports.
Can I say this? We did Nithya Raman, who's a local politician out here, babbling on about catalytic converters and blaming Toyota for making it so easy to steal and stuff like that. Are there too many people? And now I would say from a percentage-wise,
yes.
From a percentage-wise, it's more women, but there's still a lot of dudes in this category, and they talk to me a lot. And I just go, do you understand what you sound like? Like, do you hear the words you're saying? Like, what I mean is like, I can make an argument for things. And I can go, I like corn tortillas better than I like flour tortillas. And I can make an argument about it, but it'll be sensical. And then you can make an argument about, well, you can't do a burrito with a corn tortilla. And I'll go, okay, that's a point. But I hear lots of women saying stuff that it doesn't track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of ladies from The View says that, but Whoopi says a lot of stuff that is not. There's a difference between a disagreement or a counterpoint and then things that don't track. She says stuff that doesn't really track. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Well, we'll watch her.
All right.
We'll watch her. Well, remember Nithya Raman yesterday?
Of course.
Blaming Toyota for catalytic converters, which she's saying doesn't track.
The logic is off.
Yeah, I mean, there's a version where you go, look, people are stealing these catalytic converters. Now, look, sorry, but as long as there's poor people out there and gang members and something that's worth $500 on the bottom of your car, we're going to have more of this. But what I want to do is I want to know who they're selling these to. I want to come down on those guys. If somebody comes in with 18 catalytic converters, that guy's not a used car salesman. I want to know where these. Okay, there's that version,
right?
But then there's her version, which is nonsensical.
Yes,
and would never solve any problem. So here's Whoopi's take on males competing against females.
Well, I think part of the problem that the trans community is facing, and it's the same problem that women face, is if you don't know anything about our bodies, you don't know how it works. So when you come in and you say, oh, you know, these are men, you know, competing
Pause
against
there for
women.
a second. You know, my new plan is to have somebody off camera with a squirt gun. And when Kamala Harris starts rambling about something, or Nithya Raman starts talking about Toyota's to blame, or she gets into one of her clearly, what she does is she starts driving into a dead end, you know, and then starts maneuvering around, and next thing you know, she's on someone's lawn. You know what I mean? Like, she's clear. Like, her whole cast at this point goes, oh boy, here we go.
You can tell
it's on. Yeah, it's almost it's sort of like if you had a grandfather, like an old guy set in his ways, you know, and then like one of your friends came over and the friend said, yeah, I'm dating a black man. And the grandpa went, well, hold on, you're dating a fella. And you, as your granddaughter, going, oh, Christ, here we go. Don't do it. Here we go. It's on. That's what that's
Every
this
time
moment.
she speaks.
Everyone, all the rest of the viewcast, like, here we go. That's why I need the squirt gun. Because right now you could hit her with the squirt gun and she'd just throw it a commercial. You know what I mean? So you could just punch out of this. Just bail out.
Yeah.
Just bail on it. Just pull the cord, blow the canopy up, and let's go. We'll parachute to safety.
Yeah, like she's in a Gandhi hoodie. Everything she's doing's wrong.
Right.
Hit her.
All right, yes. She is in a Gandhi. All right, sorry. Go back 10 seconds. You can listen to that moment when she loses her train,
And you notice because the camera will not go to the group.
Right.
It just goes to her because all their reaction is a women hating another woman.
Or going for the squirt gun.
Yeah.
So when you come in and you say, these are men, competing against women, you're assuming that the women are weak and just can't do anything except be here. Have you seen female athletes? They know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what's going on or why this is an issue.
They don't want to compete against men.
The same for me as when people say, I don't know how I feel about you. You do. God doesn't make mistakes.
No.
And the challenge is not to the trans people, it's to the people who are not trans. That's what God is looking to see, how you treat people.
Yeah.
Okay. They always they end off with some sort of pablum about something that gets the dumb seals in the crowd to go, God doesn't make mistakes. That's right. Adolf Hitler.
Right.
Idi Amin, all the greats. He never misstep with God. Yeah. Never. Jeffrey Dahmer. He's never made a mistake, that man.
Woman with two heads.
Yeah. He's so busy putting up solar panels. Clown forgot. No. Okay. You know what's an interesting thought experiment I just had? And yes, I do label a lot of my stuff interesting prematurely. I understand that.
We appreciate it.
But this is interesting. Okay. Dig. Dylan Mulvaney's on or Mulvaney. I don't know what a Carol Mulvaney.
Oh, yeah.
Oddly, the most feminine person on the panel.
You're right.
Yeah.
Hottest.
Yeah. It's the best looking chick on The View is that guy.
Yeah.
Every man I know is like 2 Bud Lights away from getting that shit, right?
Yeah, you drink a 12 or you're gonna whatever.
We didn't say they couldn't compete in women's sports.
Let me say this. All right, Whoopi. Okay, so first off, Whoopi's incoherent, has no idea what she's talking about. But here's an interesting thought experiment. ESPN is SportsCenter. SportsCenter did not used to show women's highlights. It showed NFL, NBA. It showed men's highlights. And then if they did show women's highlights, it would be after the commercial block or whatever, like at the end. And if it was a big game, Kentucky was playing Vanderbilt in the ladies championship or something, they'd show something.
Or Anna Kournikova.
Right. But they did not show women's basketball, WNBA, right in the middle of SportsCenter, right? So now you would watch them play and they'd show highlights. Okay. But now you go right from LeBron and Luka to the WNBA in SportsCenter. It's right there. There's no commercial break. It's just next up, WNBA. And all of a sudden, you go from guys, and it's always the highlight reel. It's guys taking off from the free throw line, the alley-oop, guys just reverse slamming and just shattering a backboard, like crazy stuff where both hands are 3 foot over the rim, and just jamming to a bunch of chicks with fake eyelashes doing like underhand layups and stuff. Like everyone's doing a layup, and your
a white
brain,
girl from Iowa.
Yeah, and it's like for a moment. Because they're both wearing basketball uniforms, and they always come in on the wide shot. Initially, you're like, what happened to those dudes? Are they drunk? What? They didn't learn how to dribble? And then you go, oh. And then they show a layup and a three-pointer and stuff like that. But the three-pointer's like a chest pass. And you go, and then they go from there right back to the NBA, and all of a sudden the guy's just palming the ball and taking off from half court, and you're like, oh, that's the difference.
Yes.
And you don't really see it when they do a block of women's basketball at the end after the commercial. You got to go right up against it. You got to brush your teeth and then drink orange juice. You can't brush your teeth, eat a bagel, and then drink your orange juice. You got to go right up to it to feel it.
Yeah.
And then you see that, and then you realize Whoopi's insane. Right?
You took a lot of steps to get there, Ace.
I will bet you that Djokovic... Okay, let's put this bet. Whoever won the WNBA, like last year...
MVP.
No, whoever won the WNBA. The Sparks?
Was it? I believe so.
Pretty gay, you know that.
Transgender rights.
Let's figure this out. Could Djokovic and
Brittany Griner,
one other dude. Okay, could Djokovic?
Oh, I get it.
And a guy who coached basketball at a junior college beat that team. Just the two of them. Just two. Who would win that game? I mean, the guy who coached, he didn't play in the league, but he did play, and he can play probably a little bit.
He's got some ideas, too.
He's got ideas. Yeah. He can run some plays and stuff, play a little defense.
I think that they win.